Hello everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in physical form. The message that is being delivered today can impact you anywhere it is being presented. Over the last 40 years, the community resources have been a big part of the city of Lakewood. Within these community resources, there has been different types of populations that are accessing these resources. One of those populations consists of the homeless population. What is homelessness? How do you define it? Does it have a certain look? Does it have a certain smell? Is it defined by your youth, the financially impaired, the education system, the veteran, or possibly the addicted? The homeless definition consists of families and individuals who are lacking stable housing. The overall poverty level in Lakewood City consists of a 24%. Within that 24%, I've had the opportunity to interview a student from Bates Technical College named Eric George. He has been homeless for about 3 years. When I went to Eric George to ask him for an interview, he was not delighted. He said that I will give you an interview only if it's on my personal experience and on the community resources that I talk about. I said, okay. Eric stated, fuck the system, because the system will not give you the resources you need. There are resources that start you on the right foot, but what kind of help is there for these consistent living conditions? I have exhausted my shelter resources. I have no food, no bus tickets. All my shit is wet from the rain. Even though I can sleep under a bridge and might get to my temporary job the next day, I don't have bus tickets or a phone. If you ain't got no address, you ain't got no phone. If you ain't got a place, how are you supposed to communicate? How do you get all these things? What is there? It's always a lose-lose situation, eventually. Eric's frustration about these community resources is the result of the economic downturn, the Great Recession. The Great Recession started in 2007 when the homeless services were cut. Shelters like the Salvation Army, Metropolitan Development Center, Guadalupe House, Family Rescue Mission, Shared Housing Department were all part of this establishment and were cut for resources. They had limited space and services down to 30% to provide for people, and they weren't surviving. These issues with accessing these services now is the waiting game. Time frame. The wait list for a low-income housing program is about 5 years. For someone on the streets, they can't wait that long. They might be dead by the time this waiting list is accessible to them. The positive within our community is churches are coming forward, and for these freezing nights, they're making space. Another positive is that we have a grant funding for children and youth to pursue education, which is called the McKinley-Vento Act. This act has raised for the 2015 year over $200 billion. Again, community resources are not a long-term solution to the problem, but they are a short-term band-aid to help you become self-sufficient. According to Justin Smith, capitalism is cannibalism. There's no clearer example of this than homelessness facing capital society. Capitalism uses up humans in order to gain the greatest profit possible. Once no more profit can be made, the person is tossed to the side. And ladies and gentlemen, that becomes the poorest of the poor. And that is the homeless. Thank you.